Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing a book that I completed reading about a month or two ago. And the title of this book is The Spontaneous Healing of Belief, Shattering the Paradigm of False Beliefs, and it was written by Gregg Braden. This book was published in 2008, and this is the first Gregg Braden book I've ever read. I bought it at a local independent bookstore. I also have another Gregg Braden book, which I am currently reading, called The Divine Matrix. This is a photograph, an old photograph of Gregg Braden, but he basically looks the same as he does in this picture. So, before I get into my review, let me tell you a little bit about Gregg Braden and also how I found out about him. So, in the back is his bio. It says, New York Times best-selling author Gregg Braden is internationally renowned as a pioneer in bridging science and spirituality. His ability to find innovative solutions to complex problems led to successful careers as a computer geologist for Phillips Petroleum during the 1970s energy crisis, and in the 1980s as a senior computer systems designer for Martin Marietta Aerospace during the last years of the Cold War. In 1991, he became the first technical operations manager for Cisco Systems, where he led the development of the global support team that assures the reliability of today's internet. So it states that he's traveled around the world looking for spiritual people. He's gone to villages, he's gone to monasteries. At the time of this book publishing, he had published in 15 languages and 23 countries, but I'm pretty sure that he's done more. What I find interesting about him is that he actually reminds me of the man whose book review I did about 2 months ago, Grabavoy. He also was the type of man that was into science and technology, but also wrote about spiritual things. A lot of people, when they think about spiritual teachers, they'll imagine some guru in a monastery somewhere. They'll imagine somebody in a remote village or hidden in the mountains. They don't truly expect someone that has degrees in modern science and other forms. How I came across Gregg Braden was a few years ago when I was researching about different ways to do hands-on healing. And as I was scrolling through YouTube looking up different healing modalities, I came across one of Gregg Braden's lectures, and he was talking about these Qigong teachers who had basically spoken a disease out of existence. They had the person who had the tumor or the cancer hooked up to an ultrasound, and as the teachers were saying already done in their language, the tumor shrinked and just vanished into oblivion. So that was the day that I learned about Gregg Braden, and that was also the day that I learned about Qigong and Jineng Qigong, which is the same. I've also done book reviews on that one. So let us get into the book, and I will share with you what I've learned. So if you are familiar with the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the information in this book will be very familiar to you. It will help you to truly appreciate the amount of research that Gregg Braden did when he wrote this book. He implemented quantum physics, which is a branch of physics, and I learned a lot about that because when I would, scan through books about quantum physics, the technical ones, using technical language, I had a difficult time understanding because I am not a mathematical person. I don't know really, honestly, that much about science or all of the scientific terms, so it went way over my head. Whereas Gregg Braden he writes using layman's terms. He'll take a complex idea and he'll simplify it and give you an example so that you can better, I guess, implement it into your life. His whole gist, his overall theme of this book is that the universe is consciousness. The universe is consciousness, and we, in a sense, are computers. So if we are our own personal computers of the universe, then how we can heal our lives and change our lives can basically use the tactics of what you would do if a computer had a virus, or if you wanted to make a computer improve, or you get a new computer and you want it to do the things that you desire. For example, he has a chart in here, and I have to find it, basically stating this method. It's on page 31. It says the comparison between an electronic computer and the universe as a computer. If you can see it. Okay. I want you right now to imagine that you have a computer next to you and that you also are a computer. If you have a computer next to you, you will have an operating system in it. Your operating system can be Windows, Macintosh, Unix, InDesign, all these different things. That is the operating system. When you have the universal version of the operating system, that translates as consciousness. If you have a computer and you want a program in there, and I know I said InDesign for operating system, I apologize. InDesign should be in program. You would have programs like Word to do your essays, you would have Excel to do your spreadsheets, PowerPoint to do your slides for your class or YouTube video. In a computer, that would be what your program would be. But in universal terms, your program is your belief system. Your beliefs are your programs. A lot of people around here are walking around thinking that the programs that they currently have are programs that they gave themselves. Greg Braden mentions in this book that the Jesuits have a saying that if you give them a child, a boy, until the age of 7, they will give you a man, with all of the Jesuit principles in his mind. When a child is born, their brains are just absorbing everything, just everything. They're looking around, they're exploring things, they're seeing your face. They're like, okay, this is my parent, and this is the person that takes care of me. This is what they're feeding me. I eat at this current time of day. Oh no, they haven't given me food at this time. Let me cry so that they can give me food and give me what I want to sustain myself. When you have even a little tiny baby, when you're speaking words to this baby, the baby is absorbing the language. You are teaching the baby how to speak. You are teaching the baby vocabulary. When I worked with children for 13 years, it was absolutely amazing. And this was when I was in the library. It was absolutely amazing how the child's speaking ability and their reading ability were just tied together. There was a 3-year-old that I met who literally spoke like a 15-year-old in an AP class. His words were so fluid. His words were so fluent, he could read books like nobody's business, like elementary school books. Because his mother said he had a tutor. He had his own private tutor, and the tutor was teaching him all sorts of things. So at the age of 3, he was more advanced than the children I had been working with, who were maybe like 10 years old, but were reading at the level of a preschooler. How they spoke and how they read were a result of the adults around them either putting the incorrect things into their mind and development, or not putting the proper things that would help them develop and flourish in their studies at that age. One example that I'm going through in my life of programs is I am currently challenging a program that was placed inside of me as a child that I'm sure a lot of people are also experiencing. My goal is to grow back this broken missing tooth and this broken missing tooth. That is my end goal. The program that was placed inside of me as a child states, no, teeth cannot grow back when you're an adult. If the tooth breaks off, it is gone forever, and it's never coming back, no matter what you do. In fact, you have to go to the dentist and you have to get a fake tooth, and they have to do bone grafts, and they have to put nails and screws in your mouth so that your tooth can stick there, and that's all that's gonna happen for you, and this is your program, so you're gonna have to deal with it. I know it doesn't, I make it sound harsh like that because that is how firmly some people will believe in their program. For example, I have told a bunch of different people, strangers, people I know, relatives, that my plan is to grow back my tooth, my 2 broken teeth. And the emotion that they have when they say, no, that's impossible, you can't do that, I've never seen somebody grow back a tooth, I've never grown back a tooth myself, and it's just not possible. And if you think this is like funny and crazy, you think this is crazy, the same thing can be said about a religion. Sometimes we'll make certain things our own personal religion. And if this does not serve us and make our lives better, then we have to throw it out or reevaluate it or change how we are operating in this particular program. Some programs can be altered and work for us. Other programs need to be completely thrown out of our minds. So I had this tooth program in my mind. And the reason my program has begun to start being thrown out is because the more I researched on how to regrow a tooth, the more I discovered that the possibility was there. For example, massaging. There is an exercise called the sitting female deer exercise. If you massage, it's to grow or decrease your breast size. If you want larger breasts, you massage inwards. Because you are sending the blood to the breasts, your menstrual cycle stops, but your breasts grow bigger. If you want your menstrual cycle back and you want smaller breasts, you massage outwards. This is all just blood sending nutrients to that part of the body. If you massage your scalp, it is sending nutrients to your hair follicles. It is making your scalp more malleable. Therefore, that will result in thicker, healthier, richer hair just by massaging your fingers. So why can't you do that with your gums? Every part of your body is interconnected in some type of way. It says it in Ayurveda and other medical systems. A problem with the tooth might be a problem with one of my organs. If you have cells dividing all of the time, you'll technically have a new body basically under every decade. If you have a new body, new bones, new hair, new nails, new skin, why can't you have a new tooth? There are creatures in this world who we say are not smarter than human beings, yet they can grow back a tail. They can grow back their own head. They can be cut in multiple pieces and still be wiggling. A creature that has to pay no bills, that doesn't have any education, but they can do all of this crazy alien stuff. A little worm, a little lizard, and some sea creature in the abyss is doing more than we as human beings are doing. I am sure that we can do more as human beings, but our beliefs are limiting. Our beliefs are limiting the consciousness of the universe. The universe can take one apple and make an entire forest from 5 seeds. Just think about that. You can get one piece of fruit and populate an entire acre with one piece of fruit. One seed will cause more seeds, and those seeds will cause more seeds, and those seeds will cause more seeds. He talks about how just looking at something, and he mentions a lot of quantum physics in here, just looking at something, even when you divide something, everything is interconnected. He talks about different belief systems in various cultures that support this idea that everything is connected. Even if you get to the smallest, minutest portion of something, it's connected to the grander scale. Isn't that crazy? It's connected to the grander scale of things. Haven't you ever heard of people who can spontaneously get their sight back? All of a sudden they can walk. They talk about this in the Bible, whether you believe it or not. Jesus will go to different people who were sick, who were blind, who had maladies, and he would say, get up and walk. He would say, do you want to be healed? That's another thing. Sometimes you have the potential to be healed, but you don't want to be healed because you're benefiting from being sick. There are people right now who literally could, if they wanted to, heal themselves of degenerative diseases and cancer. They have that much willpower to speak this disease out of their body. Yet because this disease is bringing them money and attention and the affection that they so crave, they want to elongate this experience. They want to draw it out to make it even longer and get the love that they've been seeking for all of this time. One example of in the book talks about, I don't know if it was this one, maybe I'm confusing both of them, but it's basically the same thing. How one small thing can have a ripple effect on everything. And I'm going to use 2 examples. The first one is Columbus, Christopher Columbus. The second one is COVID-19. Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus had an idea, or maybe he was set up, who knows. Somebody had an idea, and they used Christopher Columbus as their vessel to implement this idea and spread it out throughout the world. Christopher Columbus takes himself and his crew, and they get lost, and they end up in North America. This one idea caused a ripple effect that is still felt to this day, because he had a toxic idea and toxic intention. He got a group of people to come over here to North America. This encounter, in turn, caused millions and millions and millions of death. This, in turn, caused millions and millions and millions of birth. Because of his actions, it started a ripple effect that got people to die, that got people to be born, that brought other people from other parts of the world here, and in turn, here I am, born. People that would have never met before in their lives are now interacting because of this one person's toxic intention and toxic idea. Because the universe has a way of balancing things out. The universe will not allow so much evil if we have a belief in evil. It will not allow so much death and destruction to happen on it without balancing itself out and trying to get back to normalcy and order. The second example, COVID-19. COVID-19, a virus, I can't even say whether it exists or whether it doesn't exist, but you already know my opinion because I made a video of it. But nobody can deny that the fear of this virus is causing a ripple effect all over the world. All over the world, because that is what consciousness does. One thing, one consciousness can change the entire landscape of a planet. Because somebody is afraid of this virus, they are starting to be more hygienic, whereas before they weren't hygienic. You have people being more creative that were not creative or as creative before. You have people starting new businesses because their businesses closed down. You have people losing money. You're going to have people that will need years and years of therapy because they were not able to be there when their loved one died. They were not able to go to their loved one's funeral. And because of this trauma, it's embedded in their DNA. Unless they pray it out, that can have a ripple effect throughout the generations. There's still people being affected from the Great Ma'afa or Black Holocaust, Great Holocaust. We as Black people are still being affected by something that happened hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That trauma gets embedded in a person's genetics, and it is up to us to throw out the program that is not serving us. There's a woman in here, he mentions, whose husband, on his side of the family, his relatives would die at like 35. So she started preparing as if he was about to die at the age of 35. He believed so deeply that he was going to die at 80 or 35 years old. However, they changed the mindset and he lived past that age. He broke the toxic cycle. I wrote this affirmation maybe 2 days ago. I wrote it on a piece of paper. I cancel the energy of toxic repetition. It just came to my mind one night. I cancel the energy of toxic repetition. I am a computer and I want a new program. I don't want to have this program of low self-esteem. I'm going to replace it. Just imagine what the world would look like if everybody simultaneously changed their program to a higher vibrating program. What if we all believed that we could fly? What if we all believed that we could get our sight back? What if we all believed we could change our eye color at will? You know there's people in the world that can change their eye color. Did you know that? Yeah, I didn't either until I started researching. There have been just regular people who change their eyes from brown to green just based off of their diet. They ate a healthier diet and their whole eye color was a whole different eye color. They thought their eyes were brown when it was actually a completely different color. Imagine what you can do, the skills that you have that you do not know that you have because you have not taken the time to hone them. Imagine the maladies in your body that could go away if you just stand firm one day and say, look, you need to get out of my body. I don't want you here. I'm a high vibrating body. I belong in this universe. And you are a disorder. You need to get out. You need to get out. They talk about this a lot in Divine Science. Emma Curtis Hopkins and Mary, well, I would say Mary Baker Eddy because she's Christian Science. But it's basically the same thing with various differences. But you had Emma Curtis Hopkins teaching regular people how to heal people. She wrote books on this stuff. One of the exercises was to deny the disease, to not believe in the disease. There were people who believed that a doctor, there was a little girl in one of Emma Curtis Hopkins' books. She believed that the doctor could heal her, and this little girl was blind. When the doctor entered the room, her sight spontaneously came back. Spontaneously. I'm beginning to wonder, as right now as I'm reviewing this book during COVID-19, I'm beginning to wonder how many people died from COVID-19, from the actual virus, or how many people died from a nocebo. How many people died from a nocebo? I don't know if I mentioned this in the video already, but I read a story about a man who was trapped in a refrigerator. And he was like, oh my God, I'm going to freeze to death. So he wrote a note, like a goodbye note to his family. And when they found him in the morning, he had died of hypothermia. But the refrigerator was like 68 degrees. Isn't that something? He believed so deeply that he was going to die of hypothermia, even though the circumstances showed that there was no reason to die of hypothermia in this refrigerator, that his body willed itself to die. You have nocebos, you have placebos, you have placebo surgery, you have placebo drinks. There's people taking medications 5 days a week and they don't even know it's just a sugar pill. Amazing. But that is what Gregg Braden talks about in his book. It says, are you loving fully? He teaches you how to love yourself. Cascade effect of healing. This was an interesting chapter. I cannot find it. He basically says in here that, I don't know if this is the section where he mentions it, but when somebody sees that something is possible, it starts this wave where now you're beginning to believe that everything is possible. People, I don't know if you believe in the Bible, if you don't believe in the Bible, but it's a good example, whether Jesus existed or not. This is a good example. People saw Jesus healing. His disciples, his apostles saw him healing. And he turns around and he doesn't say, oh, you can't do that. What does he say? You can do it too, and even greater things. You can walk on water. That's another story. One of his disciples was like, I want to come out to you. He's like, come out on the water. And he was walking on water, but then he realized what he was doing and he started to sink. And what did Jesus say? Oh, you have little faith. That's what we're doing all the time. We're this close. We're this close to our physical healing, this close to our physical breakthrough, and then we question it. You have to not question yourself. You just have to keep it on. These people saying, I can't grow my tooth back, I just have blinders over my ears, even though that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe you. I don't want your program anymore. Your program is disempowering. Your program is just, I don't like it. Even the way you age is a program. Me, I'll be 31 years old in August. I'm just like, I'm 31 years old. I'm going to be 31 in August. Yay! Do I believe in aging in my mind? I mean, I know I'm like, the years are passing, but I don't really feel like I'm aging like that. I meet people in their 50s. Like, let's say somebody's 50 and they're like, oh, when you get to my age, you're going to get these aches and pains and you'll know, you're just going to get these aches and pains. But then I meet other people in their 50s and they just running marathons. They're just jumping, looking like they're 20 years old. It's all about your belief. In fact, I'm probably going to pause right here and show you a photograph of a girl. And I want you to look at her. Look at her and then guess her age. Just look. Okay. The age that this woman in the picture, the age that she is, she's 40 years old. Looks like a whole teenager. I know, it's unbelievable. Go back. Yeah, I know, I was shocked too. But that's what Gregg Braden is talking about. It's all a consciousness game. And if you want to change your life, you got to change your program. This can be with relationships. This can be with your health. This can be with your finances. You got to change your program. And if you have to do it every day using affirmations, subliminals, whatever you have to do, just change your mindset so that you can change your life and get the things that you desire in life. The love, the friends, the family, the health, the food, the money, the house, everything that you want is already there. You just have to open your eyes. So thank you all for listening to this little book review with me. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.